my chefo nyinachi ema makwaba ediba STV anopa nonsia kase so enne eyo benin bosom ne data so mi afimpi mi ne aduonu mienu no emu emraso sensem bia ekoso ewo ye man moni amahudo so nsem maboabo ne nyina no sa nopa nonsia kase a mede ebro ewo afidie so kase boy efrin kramponi mante poko asifestos adum plaza building mo ene ye share sanson se wokopie mu ewo abefo tintan kase ne so di na wo Facebook dia eye XTVGH na sa wokopie mu ewo YouTube dia eye XTV Ghana ensem nyina ya bone nyina abede ewo honoma obenye bia kenkan ahwe na wo so wehu dia ekoso ewo ye man mo ensem ahodo amede bro enano pei ade edo so yankasa ne mo na poso no ebinim ewa kase ebu emu benya ne ntie se na adodan kwa kufuado edi aba beto dwa se 11 na wo ma hye se yentua no Ghana fu ye nyina ye ye die munti ene wo si yentua na ewo nsem fufuru mu nso wo beti se ma hye bedwani a wo gire mu di ma adehye a wo mo ewo adan abato mpeso aso wo de nsem bia ba beto dwa de wo ka nyina ene se amanfo gya se wo mo jojo eye adwasafo na ma de ye pa kokro pa enti wo mo krokro na de wo mo hia bia wo mo sabeka edi free ne nchen nsem bi ka we hu ena mede bro se anopa nonsia kase abrame Obaapa Mavis Akosua temedi kase ebrewo mametwa me hu ma no mfa kase bui emu cheche mu ankasa emfama wachi enwakwaba ediba anopa nonsia kase so enne eye wokwada enne eye midweek enne eye kwaku ne ekua womunda enne na enne kase bono me sha ase de na me de frase edi efri Ghana mampeni Ghana pesie na adodan kwa ekufu ado na kache na me de sha ase edi efri wo mampeni na adodan kwa edi atodwa esse we di ade sede na wodi ma Ghana fo nyina esse 11 na ye twini abasa ne sre no ye nhwe na ye nyina ye njintum ne ye ntua na wo si enye se wo haw bi anaposa bibiti anaposa mpese wo mudi hye ye so chinchine ne mu no Ghana fo ye nyina ye ye die mu nti ene wo pese ye nyina ye njintum na ye ntua na adodan kwa kufuado eto ane nsem no so na wo kire mu se wo ba wo mai Ghana wo hwe nipa dodo a wo mu etua eto e wo mai Ghana mu a kume bi ene wo mutua eto wo se wo hwe ye dodo a ye wo mai Ghana mu a eye 30.8 million eda na omukinkan ye no sa ena omuka kire na so se wo sensen na wo hwe wo na omutua eto no eye 2.4 pe ena wo mutua eto e wo mai Ghana de se kume bi pe ena wo mutua ne se koba ne sa na akamya ye se wona wo mutua no na ye nso a ye ntua no na ye sisi wo mo na se ye betimi ama wo mai ne dimo na o mai na konkan na impuntunyuma hodo a ye hia wo ye mai mo ne ye mpeso so hodo no ye nsa betimi akade a eje hu behia se ye betua eto enti na wo mo de sa hyehyei abase se ne etie biara obi biara wo mai Ghana mu a waso se wo tua eto bia no wo use mobile phone na mobile phone na wo use no so ye nyina ade ye di dwuma edi sikasem edi fa ye phone so enti sete sadia se na be ya obi bia betimi enya ho ne watua na etimi dia ye man ni ye die ye mbo ye homade ne ye di 11 emfantum wo simpem bebre no ye pese wo mai Ghana enya sama no ne ye ba mononi a wo mo etimi ama wo mo man no enyini na mpuntunyuma etimi abem no sa na ye pese wo man no ekọ na nso nyema wo se ye se na be ye mpuntunyuma ye hia no ye nsa betimi aka no eya na ye mpese ye beye na nti no wodi ade sede ede ma ye sem se ye pese ye man Ghana enya krabehwe na ntimi nye se amahudo so se ne wo mo so mpuntunyuma etimi akonkan na wo etimi develop wo mo country ni dia ene hu behia se ye nso ye njintum na nyema hudo a wo mo ye emma wo mo man no etumpon no ye nso ye ntimi nye bi na emma o man no entumpon Ghana mampeni na adodan kwa ekufuadum ade sansem nyina etudwa ewo kwa nkwata na ewe pie mantemo abra National Labour Conference for womodi hihye bi eto ho a womotu study free Ghana mampeni na wonya kwanse wo kasa no ene wo fa so di sai futuyi enya de sedi ede tu Ghana fo nyina enyim.
We have to make concerted efforts as partners to hasten our recovery from COVID-19 by finding intelligent ways of bringing everyone on board to contribute their quota, no matter how small. Government, on its part, is implementing a policy of cutting the budgets of ministries, departments, and agencies by 20% this year as its contribution to measures to ensure fiscal consolidation. Ghana's tax to GDP ratio of 12.2% compares unfavorably with our peers the world over. The average tax to GDP ratio in West Africa stands at 18%, and indeed, the recommended ratio for ECOWAS member states is a minimum of 20%. The average for OECD countries is 34%. It is thus no wonder that American, German, French, Japanese, and British peoples, amongst others, can readily find the means to fund their own development, particularly their infrastructural development. There is an urgent need to enhance significantly our capacity for domestic revenue mobilization to realize our development potential, create opportunities for our vibrant and dynamic youth, and deliver improved livelihoods for our fellow citizens. We cannot continue to allow less than 10%, specifically 7.8%, i.e. 2.4 million people of the population, carry the direct tax burden of 30.8 million people. We must provide an opportunity for every Ghanaian to contribute towards nation building. The proposed e-levy is one such innovative fiscal measure which will help improve our tax to GDP ratio on an equitable basis. I believe strongly that it is in the public interest that it should be enacted into law. We cannot continue to live forever on foreign savings. Those who are concerned about our debt burden are right to focus on it as a major preoccupation.
No, Ghana pesi na adodankwa ekufuado na ho yeso wode nchichemu abre yen no. Yento nsem no so ne yemfa wonko piemu ewo nsem fufum na nsem fufum de osunu kokokwa manyuko nu mo na yeda so ejina ne nyina ene se mahebedwe ne a wogire mu edima adehye mu wodome kwabrenya abatom pesoso onyenyam ne Sarah adwasafo ekamia ese na nsen ni nsem aba bede dwade enye ebini womo eka se fiti se ye hye afia se no enya adia ne na mienu mpo etimi akoma hyebedwefi no mo akwa setena beye maako edunum ne ekire kura enya adia wetimi abanam so ama mawfo kura eka se de yemfa donkomi infantu na konwa ne ho na obi a waye krado se wo pese wo gye sa de bre no yemfa emma no na enomo ehun sem bebre kenede Japan kura etimi ebekasa ye se de adwasafo eye no ekamia ese enye amawfo bi kura po kire se wo pese wo bo aban ni ntwene wo pese wo gye bibi free aban ni nsem ansa na po wetimi abedi na edwuma ewo eye mahye bedwefie dudu na eno mo kase o yempam no nsem bebre enche kura no ankasa di TikTok video bi ebeto so enam so Kennedy Japan kan se wo pese wo di mahye bedwe dia ende wonko di no ewo TikTok eye Kennedy Japan ya san so di betu dwa se sika eye NPP amanyuko na sei ewo maame yi ho a ebepimu ne enya dia de wo se wo ye no wotimi ye no eya dia eya papa wo chirema 120k nkua ena wo de amano na enumu ena amanfo bebre eka se o we de yampam no ebisi o yenya abotre ne yene no enkasa na nsentwefo bo mo humodin ene aye mahebedwe ne wogire modima adehye omwo adan beto mpesoso maame kofodo yokuji wo mo ene de kasa bisa ne se wo so wo yoba enti no maame ya woda sasoban boni edi ede futu pa na obetimi ede amagana fo nyina ene maame na nkasa wo so wo ye mahebedwe ni asanso ye obai ede mpa na obetimi aka na no na maame comfort do yo echirem say wono die enya de obesu soso enya de obetai wo machi say maame eye Sara adwasafo no yendi no anabota yentu no ade so no wo se wono die enya de obesu soso krokrokrokra wo chirem say ema eye krofobia ye pa krokro enti die koso ayeye ne gidigide ye jojo no we fa ha no waka we di afa ne ho we fa ha ne aka we di afa ne ye twa na dapa konya be nyinara wo chirem say enya de no betimi ayeyi na ma pa krokro pa emfa ho ni ifie dodo a ema no edie say bia wo ye abrewa anabo say wo ye ababa no obe biara epa akokra bofra kitikitipo afi na wawo no fufo no ye oba no ono so kra no epa akrokro enti wono die futu ode be mo omo ene se omo bom humodi na omo nya abotre emfa ma eye Sara adwasafo no omo ne no enkasa embisa no niema hodo a eha no wo se wo ban beka se mawo na menya complication anapo se wo how bi wo awo na meko ene ho se oba be fa nyinsempo besum mako nkro no enafom na enkoka se sada no wokwa akwo na asembi anapo se wo how bi aba ho na waka se omuma me break akra na memfa ngi mapomudi na fede ye twa na dapa etifini anafodi a wo se enyade a ebetimi aboa ye no wo kyerem se wo mu pese wo mu edi nyama bi se edi pra mahye bedwefie dia ende wo mu pa fidie bi o mu de besusu wo mu mma na wo mu mahye bedwefie se na be ya so wo mu nya sebi wo mu nya wo mu mensisa sa fidie ni be kyerɛ sɛ o mma we wo mu nya wo mu mensisi nti no wo mu enkofi anapo se ma ye ma wo mu nkasa wo mahye bedwefie eno saa de ebetimi aboa na se enye saa nso na tie dia ende hu behia se na wo mu jojo maame no wo mu gyae na mma pa krokro pa wo de ade sɛde de ato eye NPP amanyuko ni panifo a wo mu da NPP amanyuko no anemu esem omo bom humodin no omo ne maame no entena se no omo bisa no ni haw na manie ni dadwen niema eha no de ntia wo mma mahye bedwefie imra bedjuma se mahye bedwene no wo mu ne entena se no omo krokro no embisa no omo bisa na obekyerɛkyerɛ wo mo na se na omo ye dede we ko ha na we akoka na we akwa na we ate no na we akan na we aka se no wo se yade a ebe ha na adwene mpo psychologically yade a ebe ha no enti no yembo ye homodin NPP amanyoko no omo bom homodin no omo ne no enkasa no omo ne ne kasa obekyerɛkyerɛ mu ohawa wo femu no omo so mape ano sibre ede ama no enti mame o kasa ye mahye bedwene a wo gire mu di ma de hye omo wo adan abatom peso so comfort do you kuju and what is sansem nyina what etu twa mento akase no so ye to aso dia na adwasafo nsensem yemmo ene ye de wo to aso edi efri okuje to abrakwa edi nsem bia ba betu twa na nsem a wo kan nyina ene se wono de wa bomodin ayenhwehwemu manehu se sika dodo wa wo motimi bom homodi ansa na mpo wo masai e wa adwasafo ho ene de ye kyeremu se wa ba bepiemu e wo man Ghana mu no eye 1 million Ghana cedis no just say 1 million Ghana cedis ebetimi eniema bebre di ama wo man no ni kankan ene se yankasa yenim se na yesika sem atitia pansami na sika sem nkoyie na anu nti omo akosisa 11 edi ababe so ayese no ene ebetimi ama yesika sem etimi ababe gina brani wo sisa 1 million ya omo sei wo nipa ba akwenwe ebetimi eniema bebre ene edi ama yen na okayam eye adwasafo nsensem yi ebaaye amafo bebre ene kan yese adwasafo kra yese waji permission edi efri eye speaker of parliament kasamafo o mahye bedwefie aban Sumani Kisford Bagbin waji eye permission edi efri ne ho wasre no say wo pese woji break akra na eno na aban Sumani Bagbin edi ababeto dwa se enya nokre bebiara da se wono na ma Sarah adwasafo nyonyam ne no wama ne permission sanka wonko bebi a woko ya mane ma mahye bedwefie biom no wo si enyo nokra wonye bibi kra po a etisa nti ansana ebetua aye okujeto abrakwa ne nsem ne so no yenko ne yenko tie se na aban Sumani Bagbin edi nsem itu dwa edi fa eye adwasafo ne mahye bedwa wo ma no yenko na yenko hwe ne yentie bi.
Honorable members, the information at my disposal, this is not to discourage the committee from doing their work. If something is not done within the next 3 months, government may not even be able to pay salaries. So we have to take leadership. We have to do a lot of things. With this, the House is accordingly adjourned. Honorable members, the information at my disposal, This is not to discourage the committee from doing their work. If something is not done within the next 3 months, government may not even be able to pay salaries. So we have to take leadership. We have to do a lot of things. With this, the House is accordingly adjourned.
No, would the better kakra say video na yeshen phone na yeshen enye no na yebo ede ama wono would the better kakra ne mo mame to ansem no so na memfa emma wo eye okujeto abrakwa wono ukopie mu e o mahebedwefi a eye abedweko a wo mo hwe amanone ho nsem eye foreign affairs mo no wodi mu kinkema pa e wo honom wono so ene ye mahebedweni ede ma ade hye om wono ton abaton peso aso wodi nsem bia ba betudwa ena wo chemu se wono akasa ye hwehwemu aba behu ne sem sika botra NPP aban ene Ghana mampeni na nadodan kwakufado womo eseye ewo onyonyam ni Sara adwasafo ho ansa na mpo womo etu nu fa ede be pie mu ewo omai Ghana mu ni nyina ene se womo pese woba na eye edom dodo no womo ho entimi ndoso se na be ya sa e-levy ya edom kuma ne se womo agintum no womo ntimi imbagintum no eno nti womo ase sika eye 1 million Ghana cedis ena womo timi edi fry no anabo se womo edi fa play edi ni be pie mu ewo omai Ghana mu ne no ena wo chrem se sa sika botre 1 million Ghana cedis ebetimi anyema bebre edi amaye se wo man ebetimi aye nyema bebre pa edi amaye ni kankan ene se yankasa yenim se na esika sem atu apete ewo man Ghana mu asika semu nkoye eno nti wo mudi sa e-levy ababeso ye kom se ye po ye mpo ye njintumi wo se sa 1 million akabetimi anyema bebre ede amaye adenti eno wo mo sai no ewo nipa ba ko pe ho na eye okujeto abrakwa echremu se wono die wonimpa se enye bibia nti eno wo mo di ni gidigidi a wo mo pese chinchina acham mami se ne hu fa no nanso wo mo pese se ne etie bia won be pie mu ewo man Ghana mu nyina ene se mo pese ombeka ho na wo mo ntimi gi 11 no infantum okujeto abrakwa echrechre sika hodo a enye sa 1 million yipo sika hodo bebi ebi koye bebi ebi baaye na wo chrem se de eye Canada Japan ekan eye no kratrodo na nya sa 120 ni nkua ene sika wo mo ede ma Sarah adwasafo ne mo osinsin ni nyina no kinka ni nyina ebuma se no etinya kwa kodru eye 1 million Ghana cedis wa brekwam na kofo ewo honuma na nsenya ena wo mo ye kire se eyade aban no edu wo moka ontua wo moka eye ikrofo yutak fompo na nsenya wo mo etetua ewo man Ghana mu se enya de a wo mo be kire ade biom ni nyina ene se wo mo aketua ho sem ene nyama bi a wo be ka ho na o ma ade kire wo mo kire na betimi edimu no wo mo se wo mo nsanka emfemfri aban ne ho wo mo nyina de ahawa hodo a ewo man Ghana me wo se yetimi eso ano yentimi afa sika no anso sa wo hawe nyina no ene yetimi asai 1 million ewo nipa ba akonche no wo no de wo se eyaro ho sem nti wo man bempa ene yetimwe Ghana mampeni na adedan kwakufado ehifa pa no wo pese wo de ye ekọ ehifa pa no wo de ye edru wo chrem se watitia pansam bibia wo betu ye se mampeni ansa na wo mo endi samanyoko no befi akon akase ne so no na ye sika sem enye se ekra neti na emu da ho na ejina brane sidi no odi $2 no ho a na sidi no ejina ho ankasa o jina ho kra timi tu America na so se de sidi no woda fom e na wo ne nan ni nyina enam eye na adodan kwakufo ado wo mo modin mbo a wo mo mmo wo mo modin no e na kwakoba ne sa wo mo chiche skadi mo ho sikadie basa no e na ama ene de ye sika sem nyina atoto apentem ne nti wo no de wakezi supim se sika wo mo asen wo nipa ba akon ho de enya de a wo mo NDC ne edom kuma no wo betimi agya tumma no ayeyi meto akase no so de wakwa akopie mu ewo nsemfofro mu ye she afiyasi ya January bosom ni de etosu du pepepe na kyerkyerefo a womo ekyerade ewo soapo ahodo no mu womo edi womo kukun kaka ede tu ho se womo ekyerade biom ye from University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG womo enedi womo kukun kaka ede tu wo se womo ekyerade biom ni nyina ene se womo se womo aketua nsem womo condition of service nyema ahodo bia womo ehia womo timi womo ho timi ehia womo ewa de kyerɛ na womo eche no ho no enya de aban no ede emma womo eno nti womo nchira ade biom na womo de womo tools ede gu ho no no ekamia ye say National Labour Commission womo ena hwe edwumeku ahodo a ewo oman Ghana mo say edwuma na ye no koso sen koso say ye no nibre so ana ya ketu ehu nsem ne niam ahodo ebeboa ye no womo ena yeku a womo hwe so womo bom homodin ene yutak for kasa sanka womo enyai na womo ko classroom ko chira de na so womo si womo tija enam so ama National Labour Commission for ede yutak for ko pie mu ewo court ena court ahye say womo bom homodin na womo enko chira de womo enko chira de na nsan ya na yebeti say oh womo si womo akọ classroom a womo chira de bi say o de bi ye nko ne ye penifo mo ko gina ya nemu e kan si an ya jatum no ye de ye no mo enya adwene ye njintum ye ba jatum ye njintum na womo sanso ede bai say oh de bi womo be kọ classroom akọ chira de ne mu no womo ni aban egusora ebobo hu ne mahodo a womo hia ede free aban ne ho obanim bo som ne de to so nan eye efiada ebe se nyema womo hia no womo nsa entimi anka dia ende wo mbesan so edom kukun kaka no edi gu hobi ma wo enchira de na eda no duada ene wo hya asese o maako bi ukopie mu ewoso apo ahodo mu a wo hya ase de ya de a wo chira de kakrakra ne sentin centrafo boy homodin ekopie mu ewoso apo ahodo a ye nsa betimi asoso ntempa ukopie mu ewo University of Ghana Legon ekopie mu ewo honum kohweye se adesua na adekire ekosem esukufo no chechirefo no omo aba wo echire mo ade ana na chechirefo no so mo ba school mu na mo ba school mo aba se mo ba betena sekeke ahwe school fo no anampo se mo aba adekire nya adesua ekoso ana sei yekopie mu ewo eye University of Ghana no sei ena nsem twetwe no ekoye.
Why do you want to bring students on campus now only to tell them tomorrow, 1 week or 2 weeks time that you are going back on strike? And so that was the basis upon which that was one reason. The other bit was that members insisted that they didn't trust that the government would be able to put anything meaningful on the table during talks and discussions for members. So that was the reason why yesterday they took a decision at the emergency meeting that they wouldn't be returning to a lecture hall. But we woke up this morning to see a response to the release of members from management, also saying that management of the University of Ghana communicating to us that they would prefer that we wait for a formal announcement on the resumption of the strike as per our constitutional stipulation, by the neck. And so for that reason, we should begin teaching today as had been agreed upon by the Business Executive Committee. We were told that some lecturers had started going to the classroom and all that. As leaders, we cannot go have this a situation where some are complying with some directives, some are not complying. I mean, it creates confusion here and there. So the executive committee met, and their decision was to appeal to members to heed to the next call that we temporarily suspend the strike, even though we disagree with NEC, vehemently disagree with them.
Some went, like, they had lectures, but others too went, but no lectures. So you can't come and pay school fees and you'll be here eating and sleeping, doing nothing. No, you have to get something from the money we've paid. So I'm very, very happy they are back. Like,
I've been to lectures today, but I've had my first class. The lectures did not show up, but it's our teaching assistants that show up. I've been looking around to other lecture rooms. Some of our colleagues, the lectures have attended to them. They are attending, and then I can see that they are seriously in class. But
for your class,
department or class, it's not going as such.
At the University of Professional Studies UPSA, the situation was the same as lecturers have resumed their duties. Some students spoke to City News.
The students some kind of gladness because we were really expecting this, especially the level 400s who will be graduating soon. If the lecturers decide to go on strike, it means that our date for graduation now will be extended, yeah. But then since they are back, we realized that okay, everything is going to be on track, and they'll have wonders too that came from a very far place, waiting on the lecturers to just return so that they can start lectures. I'm also happy because now whatever we were praying for has been answered.
Why do you want to bring students on campus now? Only to tell.
University of Ghana Legon, the course so no. Yes, answer boy homodin ekopmo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Tech. A hon so yekopmo no a church for any school for no. Say and woman so a chair margin.
Just like any ordinary student, because last week we were told by management to move to the lecture rooms on Thursday, just to see that Utah University has voted against the next decision. It shows that lecturers are still fighting for their condition of service. So it will be premature to say that we are happy as students, especially when we know by Friday Utah locals will be collating their results and be able to know officially their position with regards to the strike. And so we can say that we are enjoying the moment and making good use of the moment that they are in the lecture rooms.
The various colleges have been tasked to come up with two proposals, like two scenarios, and that is if the strike continues after the 4th of March, and if it doesn't continue. And so depending on the outcome of next decision after the voting of various universities, then management will sit down to evaluate which of the proposals to apply.
Looking out for is that within these 2 weeks that they've given, we are expecting that if not a finality to the issue, at least there should be headway on the issue, so that we don't have to halt academic activities again, and that would disrupt the academic calendar.
Currently, we are still in a state of uncertainty, and then what lies ahead of us next cannot be spoken about. But we are hoping that the UTAG members and then government reach a consensus as soon as possible, so that we know if this strike is permanently cancelled.
So our tech no no young copy our University of Development Study UDS Temali young share the course so our honor.
As it's unless we know that we are going to write the exam before we can learn. So actually when we went home we couldn't learn, and we are back, and 4th is just on Friday. So we don't know actually if we will be able to write the exams or not.
I'm happy we can continue classes, and then we have an exam to write on Friday, so we can write it and we'll be free, our minds will be okay. I'm not that happy about it, because being at home is something else.
From the calendar that I've seen, the one that is coming from the University for Development Studies, I can see that there have been some bit of changes in the calendar. But I think they have still tried to ensure that students will be able to get the maximum hours that they actually need, or let's say the minimum amount of hours that they actually need. Yes. So it is still within, because there haven't been so much of a reduction of the number.
Of course, so our UDS no into no say no a church for one more was on Poahu Dunumono, one more mu say say they won't school mo na ebiako ebin so call a school for no who wants no church and same no mudia na just lectures na nkasa mane mo assistants no na ebia ba one more extra mo ye bon pa ye say one more ebetie aban na sem na de omo so omo hwehwe na aban na timi aye ede ama omo na wo tumi akoso akira de na ya papa na wohwe mako nsia na ekoya omo de omo nyama egu ya rahosem ye ngira omo nsem ni so na no pe kasia me de bra wo sa no pa no nsia kase no me fe ni nyina emfesi abomade na kopie mu wa ba fotinta kase no so ya makin kan nyina ya boni nyina bede na wonya daje eti ahwebi Facebook XTV8 YouTube XTV Ghana. As that kese nkoma me cameraman DJ YX for boni humodin papa de twa me tu mu ama screen so ye kama no MCR Bismarck wanilo uma bom humodin papa wona mo tro nsem nyina de maami Faith Fafali Hetty boss lady ni boss ankasa wo nyina time echi a metimi kase ebre wo me amekinkan de ma wo so Obaapa Mavis Akosua Atteh me da se e ma mo enishi